Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can install and set up Microsoft SQL Server on your Mac operating system. So as you might already know that you can't install Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio directly on your Mac operating system because it's an Windows based application. So we are going to install a different client to connect to our Microsoft SQL Server, which is called Azure Data Studio, which is a cross-platform application. And we are going to install Microsoft SQL Server using Docker on our Mac operating system. So let me first show you how you can install Docker on your Mac operating system. So first of all, open your favorite browser and search for Docker, and the first link which will appear here will be from docker.com. So we are going to click on this link and straight away we are on this docker.com website. Now in order to install Docker, click on Get Started. Now on this page you can see Get Started with Docker, and you will see some options to install Docker. First one is for Docker for Mac for Apple chips. That means if you have Apple chips like M1, M2, M3, then you can just click on this button. If you have Mac with Intel chips, then you can click on this option which says download for Mac Intel chips. I have a MacBook which supports Apple chips, so I'm going to just click on this download for Mac Apple chip button, which is going to start the download for this DMG file. So just wait for this download to finish. And once this DMG file is downloaded, I'm going to click on this DMG file, and let me minimize my browser. So the installation of Docker is really simple. You just need to drag this Docker symbol into your applications folder. If you are using your MacBook's trackpad, then just press Command key and then just drag and drop this icon into your applications folder, which is going to start the copying process. You can see copying Docker to applications. Just wait for a few seconds. And once this is copied, we can close this window, eject this Docker from our MacBook. So I can just right click on this Docker icon and then click on eject Docker. Now once Docker is copied into your applications folder, you can go to your Launchpad section and here search for Docker, and you will be able to see the Docker icon here. So I'm going to click on this Docker icon, which is going to start Docker on your Mac operating system. At this point, you just need to wait for a few seconds and you will see this kind of window which appears. So here you can see Docker subscription service agreement, and you will also see that Docker is starting on your Mac operating system, and at the top you can see this kind of Docker icon, right? So I'm going to click on accept here, and now I can see this window which says complete the installation of Docker desktop. The configuration below can be changed later in the settings. For now, I'm going to choose this option which says use recommended settings, which requires the password. I'm going to just click on finish here. And then I'm going to provide my MacBook's password, which I use to log into my Mac operating system. And once that's done, this window appears. You can also see some notifications here, which I'm going to close. So on this next window, Docker will ask you to sign in with your Docker account. The creation of Docker account is really simple. Just click on sign up here, and then it's going to redirect you to this kind of web page where you can provide your email, username and password, and then click on the sign up button, which is going to sign you up into your Docker account. Now this kind of Docker Hub account is useful when you want to push some images, which are some custom images, into your Docker Hub account, and then you also need to pull those images. So I already have the Docker account, so I'm going to click on sign in here, and then I'm going to sign in with my Docker account. And once I'm signed in with my Docker account, I'm going to click allow here, which is going to sign me in my Docker desktop. And here you can see this welcome survey. I don't want to give any feedback, so I'm going to click on skip survey here. And now I can see my Docker desktop. So let me just close everything here. And this is how this Docker desktop looks like. So once Docker is installed on our Mac operating system and it's working, now let's move to the second step. And in this step, we are going to install the Azure Data Studio. So go to your favorite browser and search for Azure Data Studio. And hopefully the top link which will appear here will be from Microsoft itself. So just click on the link which says Azure Data Studio. And then I'm going to click on no here, and straight away you can see the download button here. And you can also see it's an open source and cross platform application, so you can download it on your Mac operating system also. So I'm going to click on download now here, and then when I scroll down a little, I will be able to see different options for my Mac operating system. So I'm using a Mac operating system which have Apple Silicon chip. So I'm going to click on this option here. But if you are using a Mac operating system which support Intel chips, then you can also click on this option. So let me click on Apple Silicon option. So if you have any Apple Silicon chip like M1, M2, M3, then you can click on this option and you can see the download has been started and it's already finished. Now this is a zip file, so we just need to click on this downloaded zip file which is going to extract this zip file. And once this Azure Data Studio file is extracted, it's an application file. So we can directly drag and drop this application file into our applications folder. So just select your file and then drag and drop this Azure Data Studio in your applications folder. So I'm going to just drag and drop here. And as you can see, now Azure Data Studio is present in my applications folder. Once that's done, what we can do is I can just click on Launchpad, and here I can search for Azure Data Studio and then click on this option, which is going to start this Azure Data Studio. So for the first time, it's going to look like this, and it shows some notifications. I'm going to click on yes here and then close this notification. So this Azure Data Studio interface looks like this. So from here you can create a new connection, new query, new notebook, and you can even deploy a server from here. So we are going to use this Azure Data Studio as the Microsoft SQL Server client. Now let's move forward and let's move to the installation and running of Microsoft SQL Server using Docker. So for this, just open your favorite browser once again and then search for Azure-SQL-Edge Docker image. So just write Azure-SQL-Edge space Docker and then scroll to the option where it says hub.docker.com, and the official image name is Microsoft-Azure-SQL-Edge here. So I'm going to click on this link. You can see it's by Microsoft, and this is the command using which you can pull this image. If you want to read more about the usage of this image, you can scroll down and you will be able to get some kind of documentation of how you can run this image using Docker. So let's go step by step. We are going to first pull this image. So pulling image is easy. Just copy this command and then open your terminal. And once the terminal is open, just give this command, which is docker pull and then this official image name. I'm going to press enter, which is going to pull this Azure SQL image on my Mac operating system. So once this image is pulled, you will be able to see this image in your Docker desktop also. So here when you go to the images section, you can see this image is now present, right? So now the image is there. We just need to run this image. So to run this image, you can see some documentation here. So this is the command which you can use to run this image, and it uses few flags. So first flag is accept Euler, and then when you scroll down here, you will be able to see the explanation of all these flags. So accept Euler is for the end user license terms. So we just need to agree with these license terms and conditions. Then there is this MS SQL SA password, which we will use as a password to log into our Microsoft SQL Server. And then you have this MS SQL PID. So this is the flag we can use to just tell which type of container we want to run. There are two options here, developer and premium. We are going to use the developer option, right? In addition, you can also provide the username. The default username is SA, which stands for System Administrator. So using this knowledge, I have prepared a Docker run command, and this command I'm going to give you in the description of this video also. And this command is as follows. So first of all, we just need to write docker run -e, and then we need to accept the Euler, right? So we are going to just write accept Euler is equal to 1. Then we will provide the password. Here I have provided a very simple password, but you might want to change this password if you want. Then we have provided the flag for MS SQL PID, and we are using the developer mode here. And the default user here will be the SA user, which is for system administrator role. And the port we are going to map here will be 1433 here, and this will be the image, right? So just copy this command from the description of this video, go to your terminal once again, and here just paste this command in your terminal and then press enter, which is going to run your Docker container. So now you can see it gives us this kind of output here. That means our Docker container is running, and using this password and this username, we will be able to connect to our Microsoft SQL Server. So let's try this Azure Data Studio to connect to this server. You can also see when you go to your Docker desktop, in the containers, you will see that this SQL Server is running, and we have started this 42 seconds ago. And here we are going to create a new connection. So here just click on new and then click on new connection. And then in the connection details, first of all, connection type will be Microsoft SQL Server. Then select input type parameters. Then server here is localhost because we are running this Microsoft SQL Server on the localhost port 1433. We have forwarded or mapped this port, right? So just write localhost here in the server, and the username is SA, right? You can see in this command, the username is SA and the password is this one. So I'm going to copy this password, go to my Azure Data Studio and then paste this password. I can also click on remember password. So from the next time it's going to remember this password. Other parameters, you can leave them as default and then click on connect here and then click on enable trust server certificate, and you can see you are connected to your Microsoft SQL Server, which we are running as a Docker container, right? So here, when you click on databases, you will see some default databases here. So you can open any of the databases from this list. So when you click on home here, you can see this option, which is called new query. Click on new query here, and then I'm going to paste very simple query to create a table and then insert some data into it, and the database name here is master, for example. Let me click on run here, and see these database queries are successful. I can go to the local host and then go to databases and then click on master here, and then you can see this table here which we have created, which is called employees, and then see these three dots here. You can edit data. You have the option for script as create, and then you can select top 1000 records from here. So let's select this third option, which is select top 1000, and then it's going to show us the content of this table, right? So everything is working fine here, and this is how you can connect to your MySQL server, which is running as a Docker container on your Mac operating system using this Azure Data Studio. You can also use a Docker Compose file, which is going to look like this. So I'm going to put the link of this Docker Compose file also in the description. So instead of this long command which you have pasted in your terminal, you can also use this Docker Compose file to just run this Docker Compose file and then create your container. The command which you can use to run this Docker Compose file is this one. So let me just show this command, which is docker-compose space hyphen d. So this is going to start your container. And if you want to stop your container, instead of up, you just write down here. Okay. So this also you can use. So this is how you can install and set up Microsoft SQL Server on your Mac operating system. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.